Alright, welcome back everybody to YouTube channel BTCTV, and we continue to do videos about famous people in blockchain industry. Today with me is Carl. He's a very famous investor. And how are you doing? Nice to meet you.
Not too bad. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Can you, because for me it was really very difficult to get you here.
Sorry about
because
that.
No, it's okay, but because you really, people recognize you and running for you, right? But I believe many subscribers don't know you. Can you a little bit make introduction about who you are and what you are doing?
So yeah, my name is Chris Carl. What we are is we have a company that used to be called ICO Max, but we decided to change the name DigiMax. We'll talk about that in a bit. And we're made up of 5 founding partners. 3 of the partners come from the crypto space, and they've been involved one way or another in ICOs and all things crypto for 3, 4, 5 years. 2 of the partners, myself and David, come from the securities world. We've been involved in public companies. I've been involved in public companies really since the beginning of my career, almost 35 years ago. First with like number 11 on Fortune 500. So I was working with a very large public company and learned over 9 or 10 years how great big companies work. And then for the last sort of 25 to 30 years in more startup-oriented companies that we grew into large companies. 4 companies, and I have companies listed in New York and in Toronto, but frankly have raised money from investors all around the globe. And so I'm taking that discipline and that knowledge and the experience, some of which is heartache experience. We don't all have good experiences sometimes, but I've had good and bad. Take that knowledge and apply it to the ICO world with my partners and said, you know what, this is a great industry. The coin industry makes sense as a different type of financial instrument for companies to raise money, as well as on a utility coin to do transactions with customers. But you need to separate utility and security, and if you do it right and you do it regulatory compliant, this can be a great new instrument for the financial world, and I think it is.
What at this moment you are, but when you first time heard about blockchain and about maybe Bitcoin, when it was and what was your reaction to that?
I'm a follower of things like this. I'm a financial guy. I'm almost embarrassed to say that I believed in it, but I never bought into it.
Okay, yeah.
So I didn't enjoy the rise. I also didn't enjoy the fall. But I believe in cryptocurrency. I believe in Bitcoin as an alternative form of currency that has no international boundaries on the one hand and is easier to transact on a global basis. But I'm not an anarchist. I'm not one who's looking for, boy, we need something to avoid central banks. I think that to use obviously the behemoth, the elephant in the room of Bitcoin, it has a place. I think it's here to stay forever. It has as many attributes to gold as it does to as a currency because it doesn't have a national home, but it is a great store of value. I live in Canada. Historically, Canada has high tax rates. I used to run around the world and say, you know something, I love what I do. I love the entrepreneurial spirit around the world, and I love to go home to Canada and pay my high taxes and have a great quality of life. I don't want to fight taxes. I want to make more money and put my effort into making more money legally and profitably. Okay? So fighting the government, I don't think is the way to go. I think having alternative currencies forces the government to pay attention and maybe clean up their act a little bit. But I personally am not going to change the way the world works that way. I come back to it. It's an alternative form of currency. Think of it as an insurance policy against holding fiat. You don't want to hold all one currency if you have some wealth. And one of the currencies you should hold is Bitcoin. Maybe you have a little bit of gold. Maybe you have a bunch of things. But there's different reasons to have it. And I do believe in the international transaction ability of something like a Bitcoin. You then have security tokens or security coins, which is offering the investors some sort of future value. That's the definition of a security. When a company issues money to an investor, it's considered a security if that company has some future obligation to that investor. And most money that you're raising for capital purposes for developing your company is a security. And so to call it by its real name, a security token. Don't fear it. It's a fantastic instrument.
I agree with you.
It's as good or better than a common share and will have a place in the world forever if it's done right and people just live to the existing laws. We don't even need new laws. They already exist. They're fine. Just live up to them, and they're easy to do.
Yeah, I agree with you that also the security tokens is the future, and there is a huge potential for that because if I am investor, you investor, you want to invest in a company which has something, you want to invest in something which has value behind that, right? You are saying that you are traveling around the world, yes, and traveling so many. What gives you power? What inspires you to do this? Why you are doing it? Because you don't have to do this, right? But
No.
why you do this?
Well, I do have a passion for new technologies and new things that are real. You know, people accuse me I could sell, it's maybe a Canadian phrase, but I could sell refrigerators to Eskimos, you know, or people in the North Pole. I'm not picking on Eskimo. And that's not true. If I don't believe in something, I can't sell it. But show me something I believe in, I get very passionate about it, and I'm very passionate about the place for security tokens in the world. Let me throw some numbers at you. You can believe your own number. I've done my research and I've settled on the number that about $1.5 trillion per year is raised in the capital markets. Okay?
Big, huge one.
You know, and you can disagree with my number, that's fine. But whatever your number is, for this math, I'll use 1.5 trillion. I believe that done right, security tokens can end up being 20 to 30% of that annual value. And that's somewhere between $300 and $500 million per year. Billion dollars per year issued of new security tokens. DigiMax is becoming a world leader, I believe, in the issuance of these coins and helping other companies do it. We are not actually a registered broker-dealer ourselves yet, although hopefully within the next few months we will be. But we're associating ourselves with existing registered broker-dealers. And so any transaction that we help a company do right now as a consultant, we only allow those transactions to happen through properly registered broker-dealers. That's what makes you securities compliant. You need a good securities lawyer who ensures that all your filings are done correctly and are up to par with whatever regulations in whatever country or city you're working in. And then you have to deal with people who have been licensed to operate in securities.
Yes.
We're not that yet, but we will be.
Okay.
And so why am I passionate about it? Because it's a great instrument. It's good for the issuer, and it's also really good for the investor. It's not going to displace common shares or preferred shares or even publicly issued debt, but it's going to carve out its own niche within that world. And I can walk you through why it's good for both the investor and the issuer, if you like.
Okay. You are traveling a lot, right? And but what is your normal daily life routine is looking like? What are you doing during the...
Well, on the weeks that I get to spend at home, I've got a really nice family. I've got 2 grown children. A daughter who's going to be married next year.
Wow.
They both, my older daughters both graduated university and both have great careers. One of our big banks in Canada. And
my congratulations.
So I'm really super proud of them. I have a son who's in grade 11 and already thinking about what he's going to do in university. So I have a wonderful family and wonderful family life. Yeah, I mean, I lead a healthy life, but I'm very busy with what we're doing right now.
How do you manage it, right? You are, at the one hand, you are a successful investor, you are advisor, you are a family man, and a sport. How do you manage all of that?
The old saying, you sleep when you're dead. It really is. It's sort of a matter of, again, when you're passionate about something, you get up, you wake up at 4 in the morning, and
I feel that energy from you, right? I feel that energy is coming so much. What you are doing, it's like really great, to see that there are many young people when you can meet and you can see that they don't have any purpose of what they are doing. It's like they are empty.
Well, exactly, and we all hear it growing up and all through our lives. You want to do something that you're passionate about, and many people don't get that. And frankly, since my last public company involvement was almost 5 years ago, I've been searching for something I was really passionate about. And I was doing okay, but I wasn't exploding with the same energy that you're seeing now. And I finally landed on something that, again, not my first time in my life, but probably my fourth, that I am this passionate. But it's not about how much money you can make. It's about how you can grow something of real great value. And when you do that, making money follows it. You're not doing this as a charity.
Yeah, I agree.
But you're not getting up in the morning saying, I'm going to make myself $1,000 today. You're saying, I'm building something of global importance that's going to help change the world in a positive way, and I'll probably make a little money doing it. And that's what's kind of fun.
Thanks. Thanks for staying with us. Before we finish, can you make maybe a little bit small challenge with our subscribers, that when the video will be live, they will ask interesting question below this video, and during the next couple of weeks, you will select, or we can help you to select the best question, you will answer, and maybe you will present him something, maybe your favorite book, or maybe 30 minutes consultation if it is some maybe company. So
yeah, I like that idea, and I would love to come back to doing this again. We are about to become a publicly traded company in Toronto. We're incorporated in Toronto, but we're a global company, and there's going to be opportunity for everyone to share in what we're doing here. And I'm a big believer, as I said, in both common shares, public companies, as well as STOs. And we're kind of doing both. We're helping other companies issue STOs. We will issue one of our own, but we're also still a believer in public companies and common shares. And if you fly right and you're honest and you're transparent, you can build great things. And hopefully we're doing that. Hopefully your watchers will want to become a part of what we're doing as well.
Excellent, sounds amazing. So don't forget to subscribe to YouTube channel BTCTV, start asking interesting questions, and you can win maybe 30 minutes consultation with Chris Carl.
Good, real pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.